A week after the flooding, debris and filth from canals and drains are still on the streets of Kariega. Newzroom Afrika Kema joins us now from Kariega on one of the affected streets. Sipha, very good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Speak to us about the debris that is still lying strewn. I remember earlier this week as well, one of the points that was raised by the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs was the failure of the municipality to ensure that mop-up operations ensue immediately.
Well, absolutely, Aldrin. I mean, that's one of the examples I was going to give or make reference to regarding this matter. We know that mop-up operations, usually they're supposed to start clearing after 72 hours, especially the destruction. But we have seen the heavy machinery during the time of the minister's visit and the president's visit, as well as yesterday when we were around, we saw the heavy machinery, with the bridges and parts of the infrastructure. But however, the town still remains in Kariega in filth in certain parts. I mean, this is not the only area. You can see spots of the evidence coming from those floods right on the streets. All the debris, that was coming from there, such as your plastics, the plastic bottles, everything now has landed up on the streets, and they're still there a week later. Now, we know that earlier on in the week there was some rains and also heavy rains were expected, but the weather has been good, Aldrin. I mean, for cleanup, it has been good. All we've seen so far is people who have been cleaning up, obviously, their houses, part of the mop-up operation, and trying to salvage what has been left behind. But it seems as though some of them have left those materials on the side, like the mats that were in their houses on the side of the roads. But you can see, Aldrin, it is really dirty. If you actually go into various streets that were affected by the floods, the debris is still here, still no clean up from the municipality. We have not seen municipality vehicles cleaning up these areas. We can see even the schools, such as the small, the pre-primary school and the nursery school right down that street, still in filth, where you can see the plastics that came from those canals are still wrapped around the fencing and parts of that school. And you can imagine this is hazardous situation and environment for children. The informal settlements are far worse off. As you could see, some of that filth that came from the rivers is still out in the open streets where children are expected to play. But also, Aldrin, there was an update from the South African Police Services regarding people that have been missing. Now, we know that when we started in the week, we were looking on Monday, looking at 7 that were deceased and 2 that were missing. And then eventually they confirmed 8 deceased and they were looking for 1. But we have not received confirmation thereafter from the Wednesday. There's been no updates really regarding the missing people from the SAP side as well as from the municipality until today, when we actually asked about the missing report, whether there are people that have been missing. Now we found that we've been given some reports, and the 10th victim was found today at Kayla Street in Kamesh, which is close to where we actually are. And also now they're also searching for another victim who was out with their friend in a car. They were swept away while they were inside the car on the 1st of June. The car was submerged in water, and the search still continues for that one missing person. But of course, we will bring you that and more information when we go into the site where the search and rescue teams are after this.
Sipha Kema there joining us from Kariega. Thank you so much for that update.